Hi, it's Josie, and thanks to Christy and Cash for asking a question of me. She's on Insta. She's a lovely English girl. Go and follow her. She's a lovely girl. Anyway, she asked me. She sent me a physio video. I think it was a riding physio person talking about using leg aids, and asked me what I thought of it and what I thought of what they were teaching. Well, I went and had a look at the video. And the only thing I noticed that with everything the physio girl was doing, she was doing it off a horse but on a saddle with a ball underneath her. She was popping up out of the saddle, and she did say she was exaggerating, but I mean, I don't move at all in the saddle when I put a leg aid on my horse. So there, I've just given Rebel a leg aid. He didn't go forward a bit because I actually stopped and paused my body because I hadn't finished talking to you. But if I want Rebel to go forward, I just use a leg aid. Like that. I don't move in the saddle. So how do I do it? Well, I'm draped around my horse. My knees and my toes are pointing as forward as I can get them. As a rider, how your legs sit on your horse depends on a couple of things. Your body shape and your horse's body shape. Rebel is quite wide and I am a bit Rubenesque-ish. I have some thighs on me, and it used to be hard for me. If your knees are rolled out that way, you need to do some work on getting your thigh bone, your femur, to sit flat on the saddle. And I used to have to get the fat from here and pull it out, and then do a lot of work on sitting so that I was sitting like this. That's the first thing, and to get as close to that as you can and keep working on it. I still work on it every day. And that way, like, I'm just going to put I just put my calf on Rebel then, and he went. So to me, the trick is being able to get the horse to go from the lightest aid. And how do you do that? Well, first of all, you have to be able to understand how the horse learns, and he learns from a release of the pressure. And so if you put your leg on and doesn't go forward, you have to keep that leg pressure on until he goes forward, and then you take the pressure off. So if you have a horse that won't go forward, you can put your leg aid on and then tap, 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 tap. Rebel's like, what are you doing? So what you want is you want your horse to go from the lightest possible aid, and you need to teach him that. If I put my leg on here and had to squeeze the bejesus out of Rebel to get him going, well then I'm never going to be able to get some really nice transitions. So what I do is I sit up, and in sitting up and growing a bit taller, it already tells him that something, it's basically a half halt. It's one part of a half halt. He'll go, oh, something's coming. And then I drape around, then I just pulse with my calf, and he goes. I don't know if I popped up out of the saddle then. I'd have to actually go and have a look, because I did tell Christy that I would be looking.
And I just pulse with my calf, and he goes.
So we'll try that again. Actually, good boy. What I might do is I might turn and go across the diagonal so you can get a sideways view of my bottom. What a nice thing to look at. Sorry, I've got a warped sense of humour. To know if my bum comes out of the saddle. I'll tell you when I'm going to put my leg aid on. Are you ready? Now. I don't think it did. I didn't feel it. I did not feel it. All right, so we'll do a walk to a sitting trot. And I'll tell you when I put my legs around, I wrap like they're long, and I'm not gripped up here. I'm soft and I'm open in the thigh, like as in it's against the saddle, but I'm not, see, as soon as I tighten, sorry mate, he'll stop. As soon as I tighten those muscles, he thinks I want him to stop. Good boy, which is what I don't want, which is, if you're going to tighten those muscles and your horse stops, you're giving him two aids at once. You're telling him to stop and go. So my legs are nice and relaxed. I was going to say open, but I don't want you to think I'm riding around like this off of the saddle. They're just draped there. Think about that wet towel analogy, how a wet towel just sits around and sort of sticks to you. And now I'm going to put my leg on now. And he went. And walk, we'll do another one, because that was actually a fairly slow reaction on his behalf. So I'm training him here. Sit up on him and ask him to go with my calves. Good. Nowhere does my bottom, my glutes, any of them, nowhere do they tighten. There it is. That was a go forward aid. Again, a go forward aid. Good boy. I walk to canter aid. I don't feel myself use my bottom. I'll be happy to look back at this footage and see if I have. If I'm sitting trot, I certainly don't want my bottom popping up out of the saddle. So I don't use my glute muscles at all. It's just my calf, and I touch him. There, I just touch him and he goes. And if your horse isn't going from just touching him with your calf, then that's telling you you need to train your horse better. And if you're anything like me in the beginning, you actually need to train yourself better, because we have to be very, very consistent with ourselves. If we put an aid on and we don't get a response, then it's our job to redo that aid and teach the horse. It's not his job. You're the one with the prefrontal cortex that can plan and know what's going on. He's a horse. He will do what you ask him to do if you train him. So I'll get around here and we'll do that again. I will just put my trot aid on. Are you ready? Without him being, he's leaning on the bridle there, so that would have been an awfully downhill transition. So here I'm setting my horse up to win. Are you ready? And bump, bump, there. I just touched him with my inside calf. Good boy. Good boy, Rebel. Ready? Ooh. Good boy. If I want him to walk off, sit up, I'm making sure he's nice and soft in front and my calf's on there. I certainly did not push. Well, anyway, remember that. If you're having to use so much leg that you're popping up and out of your saddle, you need to train yourself to train your horse. And I mean that in the nicest possible way. That's the best way that we can be kind to our horses. Consistency and train them. Thanks for watching. Good boy. Okay.